right, so as you can see by my awesome socks, it is winter time, and today happens to be December 24th, 3 days after the solstice, and one day before Christmas. So if you're watching this as a recording in August, you'll know why I had these silly socks on. But I wanted to, because we are at a seasonal time change, I had a little reflection here I wanted to share to get us started off. So in traditional Chinese medicine, it is believed and widely anecdotally supported that seasons, changes in season affect our bodies, affect our qi, the energy, the life force that flows through the body, and the function of the organs. And different organ systems are affected differently by different seasons, which is pretty fascinating. So a Qigong practice helps us improve our ability to flow with change, and it improves the ability of our systems of our body to adapt with these seasonal changes. So one of the values or benefits of a Qigong practice is a relaxation of the spirit, and I think in the spirit of the holidays and the changing of the season, I want that to be our focus for today's practice. So with that, we are going to go ahead and get started with a warm-up. So we're going to inhale those arms up overhead, relaxing our shoulders, softening our knees, floating down one vertebrae at a time. Really, really keeping those knees bent as you open up that Ming Men gate in the low back, pressing down into the bottoms of the feet, coming up nice and slow, inhaling up, exhaling, lifting that heart center. Seems like we got a little bit of scratchy feedback in our music, so I'm not sure if that's gonna, if you guys can hear that on your end, I might just get rid of that. Coming up nice and slow, exhaling into that back bend. All right, one more time here, inhaling up, exhaling, folding forward. And pressing into the feet, coming up nice and slow. Exhaling, lifting that heart center. Back to center. We're going to interlace our fingers, float those palms up overhead. We're keeping the elbows and knees bent. Can come up into a little bit of a toe raise here if that's going to work for you today. Inhale overhead, exhale into a side bend. Anchor down that side of the foot. Inhale, come up. Exhale into your side bend. So we're relaxing the spirit today. Let's just do one more of these. Make sure we have enough time for our practice. Inhale overhead. Exhale into your side bend. If you work in an office, this is a really great stretch to do just in between work activities. Stand up, do a little side stretch, and down. Owl gazing backwards, we're going to inhale center, and exhale as we look over our shoulder. Refrain from tracking the shoulders with the head. Let's keep those shoulders square to the front. Just the head turns just like an owl. We're breathing in, and then we're breathing out as we look over the shoulder, really, really stretching in the neck. Knees are still soft. Back to center. All right, we're going to keep our weight loaded in a front leg and step the back leg back into heel circles. Should feel it stretching even down into the ankle, reverse direction. And we're going to shift our weight back, keeping that knee soft. You can heel tap and windshield wiper, or you can balance and circle and reverse. Take this foot back and circle that heel around. You can always push pause if you're watching this as a recording, and do these a little longer. Extend the time that you spend in your practice and with your warm-up. We do a very abbreviated version of a warm-up, and I'd highly encourage a little bit longer. Don't forget your modification option here. And circle the other way. We just know that if we can carve out 30 minutes, we're a lot more likely to do something than if it's 45 minutes or an hour. So that's why we keep this class a little shorter, but having it recorded makes it really flexible so you can get what you need out of it. We're going to reverse direction here on these knee circles. Coming up tall. Let's open our stance a little wider. Circle those hips around. And reverse direction. Breathing into the tight spots, sending chi, energy to places where we feel a little bit imbalanced or maybe stuck, gummed up. Shake out that lower half, take it to the upper half of the body, and we'll just start by just letting those arms drop alongside the body. Knees are a little shock absorber here. And then we're going to open the stance, swing the arms, turning the shoulders, and keeping our hips square. So it's called flying dragon. It looks an awful lot like a rotating drum with those beaded strings swinging, coming back into contact with the drum body. Back to center. Let's take those shoulders and roll them down the spine, inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we go down. One more time. And then let's take the whole arm, circling back, inhaling as we lift, exhaling as we open up that chest. One more time. Inhale up, exhale down. And then let's finish with those arms out in front of the body. Your wrists are just below the shoulders as we press the palms forward, point the fingertips down and press the wrists forward, push the palm, point the wrist. One more of each of those and circle around. These are joint compressions. This is the inner communication channels where how the body and the brain communicate with each other. Tell us where we are in space. Squeeze those hands into fists. Open, splay out to flower, fist, flower. One more of each of those. And then soften the hands, and let's do finger touches one at a time to the thumb, to the pinky, and then coming back to the pointer. That's it. That's your warm-up. All right. So we are going to bookend our practice as always with standing meditation. This all can be done seated. So if standing for long periods of time is just too much, feel free to grab a seat, come in and out of that seat, do just the upper body when you need a break, or do the whole class seated. And then as you get stronger, more brave, maybe, try to come up out of that chair for parts of the program. So we're gonna have our hands facing each other, palms facing in, arms relaxed, hanging at the side of the body, bent at the elbow, knees are bent, tailbone tucked. The torso's nice and tall, but it's relaxed. We are relaxed in spirit and in body today. Part of being relaxed is maybe being able to close our eyes and really focus inward, really kind of empty out the space of the mind. It's never completely empty. Don't even try. Just try to find a quiet nook to spend a few moments in. And as we inhale, we can extend those arms out to the side and exhale those palms in toward each other. Inhale, extend. Exhale, draw in. Part of being relaxed is really allowing the belly to extend as you inhale. Most of us subconsciously hold our guts in. We want to really be able to fully inhale. To do that, we need to let that diaphragm lower. The belly will extend as those lungs fill with air. When we reverse that process with our exhale. Observing sensations that you feel, flow of chi energy through the body. One more breath in. And exhaling out. Lowering those hands down in front of the body. We're going to come into regulating the breath. First of 8 movements here. We're going to inhale those palms up. And exhale them down. Think about times that we're stressed. This is an instinctive behavior to just breathe out and lower our hands down. The body intuitively has its own built-in mechanisms for stress reduction. And this practice is just a more intentional, focused practice to connect our intention to relax with the body's built-in mechanisms to do that. Just regulating the breath is an activity that you can do anytime you need a little reset. You just do a few breaths. Feel a little bit more relaxed. Our hands are going to come across the horizon. Our body weight's going to load into that right leg, and we're going to step the left leg out slightly. Press away from the chest. As we inhale and draw those arms back, our toe lifts. That back leg is anchored through the heel. The knee is really bent. You're really keeping most of the weight in the back leg, even as you flow into this forward exhale. You still are anchored in that back leg. It's like a tree trunk, and hands in the front leg are just branches kind of flowing in the wind. Breathing in and out through my nose. Nice, slow, controlled, regulated in-breaths and out-breaths. Do one more on this side. We'll draw everything back into center. reversing, doing the same thing on this side here. We're going to load up that left leg and just step out that opposite foot, flowing forward, inhale, flowing back, exhaling into the forward flow, back leg rooted and anchored down, majority of the weight staying in that back leg as you flow forward, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And if that is problematic for any reason, you can always breathe through your mouth if you need to. Some people feel better exhaling out through their mouth. Last one right here. We'll drop back into center. This next movement is shouldering the sun and the moon. We're going to reach arms opposite directions, looking behind us, and then coming back to center, lowering those hands down. Our knees are bent, and our tailbone is still slightly tucked under. Torso kind of moves as one unit. Square up our hips, really twisting the torso. You can hear it in my voice as I twist. But it is an exertion. I'm using my core muscles to stabilize my pelvis as I turn my shoulders. Inhale as the palms rise, and we exhale as we lower our palms down. We're going to do 2 more sets. Inhaling, lifting, exhaling, lowering. One more on each side. Great job. This next exercise, we're going to step the left foot to the side and bring those arms up overhead, palms pressing up toward the ceiling with elbows bent. Let's step back in and repeat on the other side. This is called Great Spirit Bird Spreads Its Wings. Stepping back in. We're going to step forward with that left foot. We're going to lift the back heel as the palms press up. Returning, you should feel safe in the knees, keeping that weight back over the heel. Back, stepping on railroad tracks to keep our balance. Inhaling, side step. Exhaling back to center. Again, just a reminder, if you're doing this recorded and you're new to this practice and it feels like maybe a little too much, too fast, you can break things down. Just do the lower body or the upper body. You can do it seated. Lots of options. There's no wrong way to practice this. Unless you're causing pain, then there's something wrong and you want to avoid that. forward, inhaling. Exhaling back. One more cycle all the way through. Side step, inhale overhead. Exhale, center. Inhale, open. Step in, exhale. Inhale, front step, real heel lift. Weight shifts back. Other side. Transition here. We're going to step out just like we were, but we're going to bend our knees and scoop an imaginary millstone, casting it out, stepping back. Other side, inhaling, lifting the millstone from the bottom of the sea. Exhale out, inhale, center. There's a lot of imagery in these ancient practices. I like to imagine a heavy millstone being lifted out of the water. It's something that would really weigh us down. The water makes it easy to lift. We can cast it out, rid ourselves of those heavy things that we carry around that weigh us down. Only bending and lowering to a safe depth. Feels right for your knees, your body. Making sure to keep our weight back in our heels. Keeping that chest open, eye gaze lifted will help with that. Back to center. His hands are going to come across like they did before, and we're going to step to one side as we did before, but we're also going to bring a foot along with or behind as we rotate and look over the shoulder. This is called opening the window, looking up at the moon. Body weight transfers. We bring an empty step in or behind. We rotate and look up and back. This is a very advanced posture. So you've got lots of options to modify it, which I'm showing here, where I'm stepping, I'm bringing an empty step in, sharing the weight distribution between my feet so that I don't have all my weight on just one leg. It requires a lot of muscle and balance to do that. And it's something that takes time to build up. Once you do have that muscle strength and balance, you can bring that empty step behind. You can even bend that knee into a single leg squat and really, really build that strength. So we're inhaling as we come over, exhaling into an empty step and a rotation. So we get that heart rate up. So watch your breathing. Empty step, inner behind. This is one of the reasons that the practices of Qigong and Tai Chi improve our balance. Slow moving postures where body weight is transferred really help build those systems. Probably notice that one side is weaker than the other. Our dominant side gets a lot more practice. Observing those imbalances and then really building into your practice, strengthening the weaker side. I'm going to do one more on each side. And back to center. Good job. We're going to inhale those hands down the center line of the body and around the back. We're going to step out, hands come out, palms facing away. Inhale, draw back. Make sure this back knee and toe, if you need to realign them so it doesn't feel like you're twisting your knee. Really want our knee and toe to pretty much track in the same direction. This is dusting off the wind. We're inhaling and then exhaling out wide. Lifting our toe, just like before, the back leg is rooted down. Majority of the weight staying in that back leg, even as you flow forward. Switch sides, so we'll draw everything back into center. We're going to load that leg that's pulling back, unload the opposite leg, step it out, exhaling, inhaling, drawing back, exhaling, going forward. Again, with that imagery, it might be helpful to think of just washing over yourself with light and warmth and healing as we cascade those palms down the center line of the body. And we're pulling out anything that we just don't want in the body and just releasing it out. About what the lungs do for us. Drawing in oxygen, vital to the body, and then exchanging all of the waste of the body and exhaling that out of the body to keep us well. One more on this side. Into center. We're going to finish out here with old man strokes his beard. We're going to step to the side, inhale those palms up, step in, and exhale those palms down. So the imagery, just like it sounds, we're going to stroke that long beard, palms pressing down toward the floor. We're going to step into that inhale. You can avoid doing the side stepping and just do the upper body if that's a bit easier for you. New. It takes a lot to program all these different movements. It's like chewing gum and patting our head and belly, and it's okay to break it down. Inhale up, exhale lower. Again, transferring that body weight with intention, stepping in, lifting that empty step. One more here, and we'll finish just a little bit of standing meditation. Floating those hands out in front of the body. For women, the right hand is closest, which I'm mirroring here for you. And for men, the left hand is closest to the body. They're relaxed, so loosely overlapping each other. The feet are rooted in place, feeling grounded, anchored, moored. Our eye gaze can be soft and open or closed. Relaxed muscles in the face and jaw, shoulders, arms, and hands. Once again, just going to that interior space with curiosity and awareness, and maybe even a little gratitude. Taking a couple more deep breaths in and out. Your next inhale, we'll lower our hands down with our exhale. Open our eyes if they're closed. Bring those hands up to heart center. This is the time that I invite you to just take a moment and think of something that you observed today in your practice, something maybe related to feeling truly relaxed, really observing and being intentional about entering into that space and truly experiencing it, stripping away the busyness of the world around us. And again, this is the holiday season right now when this is being recorded, so there's a lot of stress. We're also in a pandemic, so there's that. So this is a place you can go and be removed from all of that and just be truly in a space where your body and your mind can be at peace. Namaste.